All right, what are we talking about today?
Man, I had this thought of hobbies. You know, what it kind of inspired me was pretty much the feedback from the caffeine and bourbon and sleep episode. We got feedback from people, and I think what hit them was the depth of the sleep and how that impacts us in our job. But one of the things that really grabbed people in my mind was the bourbon.
You think so?
I think so. I think so. So with that, I think let's talk about hobbies, far and wide, how they impact us, why we choose certain hobbies, what they do for us, what we expect from them, and just go from there.
I think that's I think that's a great topic, especially because I think I might even be able to learn something because I don't have a hobby.
You're not a hobby guy, except for this newfound, so to speak, hobby of podcasting.
True, and
We
I've said bourbon is a hobby, but I mean, I don't think it's really a hobby. It's an excuse for drinking. Although if you look to your left, you'll see my cigars,
You're a collector.
and
That's a hobby.
I never considered that to be a hobby. They're cherished, and I smoke them on a special occasion, but I don't know if I consider that a hobby. I don't know why I feel like a hobby is different. That doesn't qualify.
I'm going to disagree and I'm going to put it as a qualifying hobby. That's one of the reasons why that bottle of bourbon that I got was had some value to it, and I know I wouldn't have imbibed in it, but I gave it to you trusting that I'm like, he's gonna collect this and hold on to it,
Yeah.
and if there's a reason to pop it open, it's gonna be a very good reason, and I'm sure I'm getting a phone call,
Yeah,
right?
that is very true. That is very true. I guess my 2 hobbies, if they are bourbon and cigars, maybe I don't consider them hobbies because 'cause they're an unhealthy. I feel like they're vices.
6 one, half dozen the
Okay, alright.
other. For this episode, we're talking about the hobby, the art of collecting, enjoying, and sharing. Brings you some level of joy, a level of interest, and a distraction.
This is the Main Responder Podcast. Real conversations about work, the pressure, and the lives shaped by service. There's no single lane here, no script, just honest talk. Let's get into it. What are typical hobbies?
I'm gonna break into some of mine.
Let's go.
And it's cool because we do have the contrast. You feel like you have a minimal. I feel like I have a plethora, but not enough time. And why do hobbies, like my hobbies that I'm interested in, cost so much money? It's frustrating. One of my big hobbies that I used to do since I was a little kid was archery.
Okay.
And it's been a minute
Yeah.
since I've pulled back a bow. Actually, I don't even own a bow anymore, and that's my pursuit is to get a new setup for it. You concentrate, you focus, you breathe, you relax, you pull the trigger on the bow, and the arrow goes flying down and hits your target.
I could see that being great, therapeutic.
Yeah. I'll say it zen. You have to concentrate, you have to relax a lot more. So there's a whole level of concentration and focus, mind, body, and environment. Wind, distance, the whole 9 yards.
Last time I ever used anything like that was I was probably 9 or 10, and it was a slingshot,
Right.
and it wasn't as,
I mean, that's going grassroots. That's great.
what comes to my mind is golf. It's kind of the same thing. So I played golf for a little bit, dabbled, took some lessons, got really frustrated with it, gave up, kinda started getting back into it last year, a little more fun with it than I did in the past, but the reason I say it is because it just seems like there's a lot of mechanics to it, and, when you take that time and think about the mechanics and try to perfect them, there's definitely something to that.
Yeah. Golf. I love to play golf.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy the exactly that.
Yeah.
Getting out, mind body connection. You got to hit this little tiny ball and you got to hit it pretty far and then put it in a little cup.
Yeah.
And it's that can be paired with camaraderie. Archery can too. I used to do tournaments growing up. The smoking and joking it was great as a kid, 12, 13 years old. I'm with adults, my uncle and his friends, and I get to hear how they interact with each other and the the razzing of it all. You can't make that shot or I got closer. And that's the difference with archery, versus, shooting a firearm is there's a lot more margin of error.
Hearing what you're saying, I'm equating it to golf because I've played golf. When we talk about the mechanics, the camaraderie that's around it, that's what
Yeah.
we're looking for in a hobby.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, man, I got so frustrated with golf. I was just like, "I don't wanna play this." And I was playing with people that were just kinda hacking. I don't know, this is my problem. This is my problem. You see?
I know
I
what you're gonna say.
I was playing with great people, don't get me wrong, that's not what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Correct.
But I'm like, "You guys just wanna come here and hack the ball around and drink, and nobody's actually getting better at golf." I'm not playing this again until I know how to play, till I can play right, and then start to, like, focus on the game and get better at it. I'm out, and I'm not gonna play. I guess maybe I was missing the camaraderie part of it, right? Well, who cares? Why I'm turning it into a something serious and maybe taking out of it the joy.
Right.
I wanna know more about the mechanics, I wanna get better, and then the hobby will be being able to enjoy that part of the game. I don't know, maybe I was just playing with the wrong people, for me, for my mindset, or maybe I'm just too, sometimes I just have a stick up my ass, and maybe that's just it. I don't know. You bring up archery, and it makes me think immediately, here we are in Maine, hunting, right? Hunting is huge, and
Right.
that's the same type of thing. People going out, or maybe they take their little ones and they're passing that on. I'm a city boy, so I never really had that, but I've been able to, as I've gotten older, can understand, wow, there's something to this, being out there in the woods, and, um, I wouldn't have really thought of as a hobby because it just was different from how I grew up. But
Right.
that Zen part of it, man, it's, it's like tactical joy,
Yeah. Great way to
which
put it.
is, yeah, it's one of those things, even tying into the profession, I've had to learn to ease down, right? I've talked about it before. I have a certain standard in my mind. The example is how I ruined the game of golf for myself. But doing that and kinda getting too intense about it, I learned, "Hey, just chill out. It's okay. Like, let those guys have fun, and I can still have that, like, that intense battle with myself to improve." But hang on, I'm gonna sidetrack here because there's something else about golfers.
Okay.
They're freaking liars. It just came in my mind, so I have to say it because I wanna get out there and play golf, and everybody's, "Oh, hey, come out and play with us, it's gonna be great." I'm not that good, and I just don't wanna slow everybody down. When I get better, I'd love to play with you. And then they come at me with this BS line. Jeez, we're horrible. We are the worst. And then I've gone out and I play with these guys and I feel, well, like they're liars because they're all awesome. They can hit it straight, they can hit it far, and I'm just chopping the ball along like it's, I don't even know. I might as well be freaking doing hopscotch. It's just ridiculous. So, sidetrack, but I had to get that out because every time people, they just need to be like, "No, we're really good. So if you suck, get better and play with us, or meet us at the 19th hole and buy us around because you're not that good."
So, great segue to what I was gonna say is you're viewing it from the success point of view,
Okay.
the success of golf.
Yeah.
And what's the success of golf? Getting the lowest score. However, what's the significance of it? What are you looking at? Are you looking just to kinda get through it and be done to get to the 19th hole? Or, yeah, you're not gonna be like, I used to keep track of my golf score. Yes, you have to write down your score, but my success was rated on how many balls I lost.
Yeah, I've done that. Yep.
And that in itself of just putting that a success for me helped me enjoy the game that much more.
Yeah.
And on your side of liars, how about that putt's a gimme?
Oh,
Come on.
yeah, talk about pressure.
You can get the yips within 6 inches. Come on now.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
Or kicking it from the rough. Hey, that kick's a stroke. I don't care who you are. So, again, no judgment because we've all been there. How are you compare who are you comparing yourself to? You comparing yourself to the golf that we're watching on Sunday, if you're one of those people that watches golf? If we are, yeah, you suck. But your average Joe that's going out there, hitting it, you're enjoying the time with people, you're trying to understand the mechanics of it, and, "Ooh, I got a sweet shot, that was nice. Good, that's a win." It's almost like once you hit the ball, equate it to shooting. Once you pull the trigger, the bullet's gone, nothing you can do about it. Same thing, you take that stroke, it was a great stroke, good, but the next stroke is a whole new one. Don't go off of that success or don't go off of that failure. So I like those hobbies that allow you to compound and build, but not build off of past successes because the next one is different. You hit it into the sand, into the bunker. That's a completely different approach, a different way you have to look at it. Tall grass, fairway, it all changes. So that to me adds a little more to the foundation of that game
Yep.
that gives me a little bit more of forgiveness. And I think that's one thing that we're both very critical of ourselves, and we see the I wouldn't say perfectionist, but there's a perfectionist quality to it. And that's success. So look at it from a standpoint of success and significance of that success. What's your goal for going out to play golf with your friends? Enjoy, have a good time, then have a good time. If you miff and, skull one, you laughing about it, likely, there you go. That's a win. If you get upset about it, then that's your point of view that, maybe you need to change to, for perspective.
Yeah. Let's be tactical in when we find that joy and not allow ourselves to fall down in that perfectionist or find the humor in those moments. There's a lot of moments where we can't laugh. We have to be serious. We have to handle business. Look for those little moments. Like, be present and make that choice to be happy.
Other other hobbies, thoughts from, where we can go with that. You look at fitness.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's rucking, going out for the walks in the woods or wherever. We've got some great locations here in Southern Maine that we can take a walk and to add a little extra to it, you throw weight in a backpack, you grab a ruck and you go by yourself in a group. It can be educational. You could throw a podcast in. You can listen to an audiobook or listen to music. Either way, you're focusing on something that you enjoy and you're moving at the same time.
You're 100% right. 100% right, because I didn't consider rucking hobby, but, uh, I'd walk miles,
Right?
and,
Miles.
just like you said, put the AirPods in, listen to a podcast, listen to a book. I would get to a certain point, maybe grab a bite to eat. In fact, you know this, but I used to ruck from brewery to brewery,
Great concept.
and I'd get there. I was in a good spot where I probably had like 4, maybe even 5 breweries, and all said and done, probably 7 miles, and that was awesome, and you had, like, these checkpoints,
Right. Yeah.
so you go, "Up, I know I'm hit this whatever brewery, and I'm gonna stop and have a beer there," and then by the 3rd brewery, I'm drenched in sweat, and they kinda realize, like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then I could talk about it. "This is what I'm up to," and I did that enough times where they're like, "Hey, you're out there walking again?" And, "Yeah, I'm out there." So, that's a great one, and I can't wait, till the weather breaks a little bit to be able to get back out there and do that. We've actually done it before, and, we'd stop and you'd put us through a workout,
Yeah.
which was, freaking awesome.
Yeah. Instead of using your checkpoints for rehydration with the cerveza, we would break down and have a circuit. And it's easy, just body weight stuff, whether you have the ruck on or hold the ruck in a different position, do squats, lunges, planks, push ups, you name it. find a park bench or a rock and do step ups. The variety is all based upon your imagination and your environment, what's around you. So, yeah, hobby number whatever, we're 3, 4. That's there's another one that we just added to your repertoire.
I know. Yeah.
So, you're a hobby guy whether you know it or not.
That's the thing is, yeah, identifying that yeah, I do have some hobbies.
Hobbies that you're doing, hobbies that you could grow with. You can combine your hobbies for a goal, and it kind of relates to what we're trying to do, what we're trying to improve our health and wellness with this.
I mean, this is a good conversation because there is so much, I guess, that I am doing that I'm just not considering. Oh, yeah, that is a hobby. And I've been asked the question, what do you do? What are your hobbies? Uh, it might even be like a therapy question.
Yeah,
What do you do that, and I'm like, I don't do anything,
right.
you
I
know?
think it is a therapy
Yeah.
question.
So
I
it's
think
like,
I
so
answered that question
yeah. And my
several
answer,
times.
my answer was like, I don't think I do anything.
Right.
Uh, Sadly, I always think around work. I think about around work and family. I don't wanna seem like I'm that deep into work, but there were many years where I think I was. And so I'd always say, yeah, work and family. But there's definitely a lot of side things that I do that, uh, count as a hobby, and many more that I wanna do. I just don't know what they are yet, I guess,
Yeah, I
you know?
say let's explore, figure
Yeah.
some out. I want to get you in that great Atlantic Ocean and
Ooh,
swim. I
wow.
love it. That's a pastime of mine. I definitely could say that's a hobby. And it seems like my a lot of my hobbies are activity oriented, moving. I don't I don't really enjoy sitting too much. Playing games,
Yeah.
whether it's, you know, rummy, rummy cube, different games of that nature depending on the weather if we don't want to go out, or if it's a nice beautiful day sitting at a picnic bench or a park bench having a beer and playing rummy. That's a fun way to go. Laura and I go to Monhegan Island and that's what we do. We hike for a good portion of the morning, and by mid-afternoon, we go to the brewery, we grab a beer, and we pull out the deck of cards and we start playing rummy. And it's fun, it's relaxing, but yet it's challenging. You're challenging your mind, and it's a little competition, a little, you know, spousal competition is fun to
Yeah,
to
yeah.
put in the game, and we keep track of our scores, and I'm always the loser. I get my ass beat 99% of the time. So when I win, you better believe I'm doing a victory dance. So looking at the different options and what people classify as hobbies, I really think it's in the eye of who is participating. You have coin collectors.
Yeah, right.
You think about that. People are looking at the pennies disappearing, and now they're looking at, oh, do I have this penny? Just that simple act of them cutting off the pennies. There's so many people out there now that are becoming collectors because they're looking for that penny that's gonna get them the big score. Whoever thought a penny would be able to turn into 100,000, $100, $1,000. I mean, I guess they're out there. I haven't looked at it too much, but I know my kids look every now and then at pennies, and it's pretty cool.
Cooking.
Cooking.
The smoker.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it as much anymore, but, getting out there and throwing a brisket on and tending to that thing for 12 to 18 hours or whatever it takes, that was great. That was a lot of fun, and I miss it at times. They test your patience, but not in the way of, that typically means, like, annoy you and whatever.
right.
They you sit with it.
Non-stress
Yeah,
induced.
this is gonna be perfect. We're gonna wait. We're gonna do this right. I'm glad that I'm realizing
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do have some things that are a stress relief.
perfect.
But you know what I'm taking away from this? Obviously, what I just said, but also tactical joy. I'm ready to put that on a hat or something,
Man,
man.
I would go above and beyond a hat. That's a hoodie.
Yeah,
Tactical joy.
yeah. Let's be deliberate about being happy. As deliberate as we are sometimes as being negative, because that just seems to be a default sometimes.
Complete default.
Being deliberate about happiness. So that's it. Tactical joy is my takeaway here. And I'm glad that hobby talk brought us to it.
There we go. I'm counting that as a win and good direction with good conversation. What do you think?
It's been a good conversation. I'm really grateful and thankful about some of the messages that we've gotten, people listening to this nonsense. It turns out there's more than 2
There's
people.
more than 2 people, more than 2.
And you know what? This hobby is bringing me some joy. I gotta be honest.
Yeah,
Uh,
agreed, same.
yeah, and you know what? We're learning as we go. I mean, life is good. Life is good. It's been fun. It's been from the heart, you know?
I think, closing points, find your tactical joy, be deliberate, intentional with what you're doing. We've got common bonds. It's
Yeah,
not just the job. There's
absolutely.
other things out there that are tying us together. So, yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I think it's a great day.
Cool. We'll be back with another one, and we're gonna keep it rolling.
Let's go.
All right. Stay safe, everyone.